So we're going to show you how to do an abdominal aorta ultrasound.
The curved transducer, that's this one. So we pick this one here on the screen, the one that says C1/5. And then it already has settings in the computer. So you start putting your transducer midline of the patient and slightly over to the left side. So there it is right there. You can see it pulsating. So you want to decrease your depth so you don't have all this empty space on the bottom. Then you want to try, if you can, to get it going straight across the screen. And you take pictures and break it up into sections, doing proximal, mid, and distal. So this part right here is proximal, and you know that because it's before the celiac and the SMA vessels that take off there. And then you also want to make sure it's anechoic, so totally black all the way through the vessel. So you turn down your gain with this button here. Not too much because you still want to see the walls. So then once you think you got a good view on it, you just try to clean it out as much as you can, try to get it straight across the screen. Make sure your focal zone is at the right level too. So you move your zone down just below where you want to image. That just makes also, if you want to clear out just a certain part of an image, you can use the TGCs. Just make one part a little darker or lighter. And then once you think you got a good image, you can press this button to freeze it. So then this would be prox. So you label it so whoever's looking at it knows where they're looking. So prox, aorta, and we're in long. And you can take that picture, and then we also want to measure it because we're screening for aneurysms. So we go outer wall to outer wall and try to get it as straight across the vessel as possible. And you can take that one, and we want it under 3 centimeters, so that's good there. And then next we take a picture of mid and long below the SMA. So we want to adjust our depth again. And make sure it's all pretty much straight across the screen. Change it to mid. Take that. Measure again. So when we measure, we want to measure outer wall to outer wall. So here. Then we go down to distal, which you want to find the bifurcation and take a picture right before that. So I usually like to come to the side of the patient. I can usually get both of the iliacs, which is what the aorta bifurcates into, in one picture. Sometimes you can't get the whole thing because of body habitus or gas, or just the angle you're coming from. So there you can see the 2 iliacs coming off. You want to adjust your depth again. Turn your gain up a little. So then we can measure there again right before the bifurcation, outer wall to outer wall. And change your annotation to distal. And always take one with the measurement and without the measurement. Okay, so now we want to look at the iliacs. We measure those also. So now I'm coming from the right side of her body. So this top one will be the right iliac and the bottom one will be the left. You might have to get them in different pictures. That's okay. Annotate which one you're always measuring on the picture. You still measure outer to outer. one with the measurement and without. And I'm going to get a better picture of the left one to measure that on. Maybe you can get a better one coming from the left side, closest to the top of the screen from this way. So there it is there. And then we just change our annotation. Measure again. Okay, and that's it for long. So now we do, so again we do proximate and distal. You'll probably have to bring your depth down again since you're going back up to the prox. And I also like to change my sector width of the image, just so you're only looking at one thing and you get a little bit better. So now we're looking at the aorta and trans, and since the aorta is like a long tube, it'll show up like a circle on our screen. So we're kind of cutting through it like a loaf of bread. So sometimes the best way to see prox is have the patient take in a deep breath and hold it. So take in a deep breath and hold it in. And we can see it a little bit better. And we know we're prox because there you see the takeoff of the celiac, so we want to go above that. Move our focal zone down. Clear it out of artifact. You can breathe. And then we can measure that there. And we want to annotate trans aorta prox. And then here we measure AP and transverse. So we do 2 measurements on this one. So then this one's the AP because it's anterior to posterior, and then this is the transverse diameter. So take that, then take the calipers off and take another one. And then now you see the celiac coming off here, so we want to go below that and the SMA. You can adjust your depth again because the aorta is coming closer to the surface. Your focal zone. So you can take a mid picture anywhere in here. And we want to make sure it's labeled right. And then measure. Outer wall to outer wall still. Take one with and without the measurements. Now we can go down and look at distal. So right here you can see it bifurcating into the 2 iliacs, so we want to be right before that to do distal. So we can move our focal zone back up by it again. And measure again. Make sure we have the right annotation. And now we also measure the iliacs again in transverse. So you can see them both here, a little darker. So annotate it. Trans iliacs. And label right and left. And you can measure those. And take one with and without the measurements again.